This is my in the bag video for the beginning of 2023, so we can see what I'm gonna have to start the year, and then I'll probably do another one either mid-year, end year to kind of see how things go throughout the season. Let's kick it off with the putters. So for putters, I keep just a few in here. The one that I've been leaning on the most has been the Pure Latitude 64. I got one of these this last year and I really like the feel of it, and so I got another one that was of a little bit different plastic. This is that Zero Medium. I see its numbers there. We got a 3-3 -1 1, so very straight. What I liked about it is it feels like dense in my hand, and I kind of appreciate that like with my putter I want something that feels smaller almost as I'm going to throw it, something that I'm giving more of this like I'm chucking a rock into the basket. After discovering this summer, I really liked it. But there's actually a lot of different plastics and things for this Pure here, so I got this Zero Medium. I have no idea what that really means. So yeah, Pure, ringing endorsement. I like it. Don't see it around a lot. And then for a little bit further out, I have this Millennium Solstice. What I really like about this one is when I want to really just kind of like float one up there that I'm hoping will dive bomb near the basket or in the basket. It's very stable, but it also just, for me, just dies really nicely if I just give it that kind of loft in the air. And so this is kind of my on the edge when I'm not sure if I want a forehand or backhand. Millennium Solstice. And then a new one, which of course popular out there in the world right now, is we've got the Trash Panda Inner Core is making the rounds. Yeah, I haven't got a chance to use it a bunch. It came late in the year last year. I've got a good feel for it being a good Circle 2 putter. I don't really drive with putters very often. It's a longer putt with a little more glide for me. I think this really fills that gap I was having where with the Solstice I was feeling like I had to be a certain distance away or else I was going to definitely overshoot it or glide away. And the Pure, I was just not feeling like I could hit very far out of Circle 1. Hoping this makes the difference in between. So mid-ranges. I don't really have any mid-ranges. I mean, I guess I talked about this Solstice in my putter section, but then I jumped straight to ones that most people would define as fairway drivers. And so we're just gonna not call any of these mid-ranges. So next, we'll go to what people would call fairway drivers. I am really in love with the Heat. This is a definite go-to for me. So a Heat Discraft. I've got my Ledgestone Edition one here, the Z, and so it's a little bit more of the stickier plastic, and I like the stickier. But this year I did go ahead and pick up some ESP plastic of some of the discs that I use most frequently. If anything, it's what helps me make up for the fact that I don't have a normal backhand shot, because I can hook this one over to the left pretty well. It can look pretty much like I were throwing it backhand with how hard I can get it to turn backwards. I've aced a couple holes with the Heat, and so it is definitely one that I like. Only downside to it, it is not one that can withstand the wind very well. Like as soon as it gets to be a windy day, this one kind of falls out of use. Moving down, I actually discovered this. This is a Valley. I guess it's a Vibram Valley, and this was one that I had put away in storage for quite a while and not taken out, and I haven't gotten to use it a lot. Got it late in the year, but I'm really excited for this being similar to my Heat, where it's nice and straight and level, but I might go ahead and go at the basket with it a little more often. It's got more of that, I guess this is almost like comparable to like the gumball plastic, but the Vibram rubber is almost like more rubbery than plasticky. So yeah, this one's got cool little fleckles in it. Excited to try that out a little bit more as the year gets going, so check that one out. And then a new addition that I have been using a lot, I've been really leaning on, has been this Avenger. And so I only picked it up late in the year, and it was described to me as a slightly more stable T-bird. So this one is pretty much as advertised, and I've been using it for almost all of my upshots. I can pretty much shape it into anything that I want to, but when I'm feeling like I'm a little bit farther out than what I would want to take a stab at with my actual Solstice here, where I'm really think I'm going to actually hit the basket or some metal, this is one where I'm assuming I'm probably going for more of a land within the circle kind of a shot. I love it. It's bright yellow, which means I don't lose it. The thing I like the most about it is it has been able to transition away from relying so much on my T-bird, which is pretty close to reaching retirement, purely because now I have way too much connection to it and don't want to see it end up getting lost. I pretty much only throw this when I know I'm going to see its flight the entire time, when there is no risk whatsoever of it ending up in something that I cannot find it. But I also will hit a lot of my field aces and just getting through the trees a little bit better. This was what I started with. The T-birds were really hot when I first started playing back in around 2000, 2001. something that again I can put at least near or in the basket, you know, from a little bit further out than when I would normally putt. So that was my fairway drivers. I guess moving upward, I have a mixture of drivers that are my more constant go-tos, and then I have a few that are higher speed, more stability, my ultra long range. So I'll start this here with my normal driver set. Another disc that kind of came out of the back stock, something that I had around for a while, I hadn't really been using, and I got to a point where I realized I was kind of overpowering myself, realized that I needed to back off a little bit and have this sitting in the closet, not doing anything from a while back. It's a Star T-Devil. And this one, it's got a 12.5 -1.2, so it's pretty straight, pretty fast, pretty you know, average driver kind of a throw. But this one in particular has a really flat edge on the top of it. For the way I really hold my forehand, it absolutely gives me, I guess, just really a reliable feel. This is one that what I've been using a lot lately. Is I'll take it out there and be just the first one that I'm using because I know it's going to do what you kind of expect the disc to do. So I'm not getting into the I need something more or less stable, or I'm going to try to really trick the shot out. This is just, I'm going to go up there and make sure I have any amount of form today because I haven't played in a few weeks and want to feel somewhat confident about the throw that I made. I guess that's been kind of this thing. It's been my confidence disc. I come in, give this a few chucks, and then I feel like, okay, I can actually do some other things now that I've reliably been able to put this one on the line that I was hoping to do. But then my kind of go-to is once I've warmed up with this, I am ready to move on to the Thrasher. And so Thrasher has been a great disc addition for me this last year. For again, with being a primarily forehand thrower, I try to go with a lot of understable discs so that I can really take advantage of as much of that kind of mild S-curve, and this being one that is understable but very glidey. I feel like every inch of its movement is forward towards the basket. If I really can hit that line, go straight forward, get it to both turn and fade the way I want it to, and it'll also get a skip that continues going forward, absolutely love it. And this one is a Z Swirl. It was the Ledgestone edition this year, so really enjoy this. I have a couple other Thrashers around now because of it, but this one in particular has really been the one that I've been leaning towards. So I have my backups, but I'm really hoping I don't lose this guy anytime soon. And then kind of the neighbor, I do have this Scorch ESP. It's a really nice look. Of course, I love the blue swirl that goes with it there, but I haven't quite nailed it down. I feel like once I do, it's going to be something I really enjoy. I can definitely tell it has more glide than the Thrasher, and that's exactly as advertised. It's, say, more understable, but it has a higher glide rating, and so I do see that. I'll get it to, you know, turn pretty well. I'll get it to fade, but it just, maybe it's the ESP plastic. Again, I'm trying to up myself to see if this really is a premium plastic I like, or maybe I just like, you know, lower quality plastics, and that's, you know, totally fair. It looks cool, and that alone will get it into my bag, and it will probably get some cool, little maybe a stencil job on top of it. So nothing else, I like discs that look neat to be around. Then, of course, you got to have something, you know, that you can take a nice sharp turn with. I have the Starfire now. You know, kept the Firebird for a long time. The Firebird I had got pretty beat up, and I had already purchased this to try out as well. So again, I kind of rotate out in that one. I can drive with it. I can make it turn. It's very overstable, like advertised. It does the trick. So moving up the last tier, I consider my extra long or extra stable discs. I only keep a few of these around. Honestly, the first two are redundant, and it's just another thing, as I've mentioned a few times now. I've been trying to get myself kind of upgraded or trying out the ESP quality. I thought this one looked cool, but I still absolutely love this one even more. So this is a Nuke SS, super stable. Again, very understable and straight, but it also gives me that little bit more power. This is kind of my high-speed heat, so I can get it to go a straight line. I can turn it back to be an understable shot that hooks over to the left to make up for the fact that I don't have a backhand. I really like this disc, but I definitely feel like if I come out shooting with this, I'm gonna make a bad shot with it, honestly. Because if I come out and I'm not strong enough, or I'm not feeling like I can, you know, really pull the weight of this disc, it's gonna not really do what I want it to. And then I go ahead and I keep a Destroyer around. This is just, you know, again, everybody's got to keep something nice and overstable. This is one that when the wind really kicks up, I can disc up to between this one and the Nuke. I know that I've got something that's over and understable, and again, both of them I have that little bit, you know, stickier. I've got the Z quality over here with the Discraft disc, and then over here I've got the Champion with the Innova. So the Destroyer is just kind of that, you know, you got to keep that around. So what else do I keep in the bag? Well, you got to be able to keep some other things. Number one, marker. I have a rangefinder, gotta have a grip sack, mini, Trash Panda 1, anteater, snacks, beef jerky at the moment, And wrapping it up, I do keep a bead counter on the front because I cannot remember my score often. So that's what I've got in the bag at the beginning of 2023. We'll see what happens as the year goes on. We'll see you next time. Scuttling out.